football time, people.
We're getting close, man. So there will be a Dublin game this year. Florida State takes on Georgia Tech August 24th. It's like in a couple of days.
Going to Ireland?
They're going to Ireland.
Why can't we be on their crew and go to Ireland? I want to go there.
Why are we taking Florida State and Georgia Tech?
That's right.
It's this Notre Dame thing, and I don't know.
Well, who else is Irish?
I was trying to think that today. Other than Notre Dame,
there's got to be.
There's got to be.
I mean, Boston College, they're all Catholics.
Northwestern, they're by Chicago, so there's a lot of Irish there.
There's a lot of Irish in Boston.
Wisconsin, I know there's a lot. It could be a Big Ten game. We'll work on it. We'll get back to Irish. After that weekend, Uconn will start their season. They go to Maryland to start.
The Terrapins?
The Terps. I know. They throw the ball all over the place. So there's a couple of new things that are, there's a lot of new things that are happening with Uconn football. One, we can't wait for the quarterback to be named because there is a straight competition between three gentlemen. And then the other thing, they're running a 3-3-5 defense, according to most reports. Now, Bob Joyce is out there at practice today, but he was also at Media Day on Tuesday.
A little bit wet out there, Bobby. Hope you had a slicker or an umbrella.
Get out there. Get away from the metal bleachers, Bob.
I swear there's always a thunderstorm over my house. It's
especially right now. It's 3 o'clock. It's always at 3 o'clock here this summer.
Humidity, 95 degrees.
Yeah, I get it. All right, so let's listen into the coach's comments as he addressed the entire media and just basically gave a synopsis of
Jim Mora Jr.
where they're headed. Jim Mora Jr., one of our faves. We really like the coach. And he is the one thing I appreciate about Coach is he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He is honest. He understands the room, and he's always positive moving forward. I'll just shut up and let you listen in. It's a big piece of Jim Mora Jr. at Media Day on Tuesday.
I know this. I'm very excited about this season. I think we have high expectations about what we can accomplish if we're able to, put it all together and learn how to fight through adversity, learn how to handle tough situations. I think we improved this team in the offseason through recruiting and through the portal. I've seen a group of young men that have really shown a commitment through the offseason. It's been a difficult offseason for me. We've been very demanding, but just feel a real sense of anxiousness from our players to go out and improve on what we did last year. And I don't like to look back at last year, but it is a whole new team. And when you have a season like we did last year, it's always going to linger, even if you don't want it to, and you try to push past it. It's always going to be in the back of your mind. So as many times as I tell you, we don't look backwards. It's always there, to be quite frank. And we get to work tomorrow. We've got a lot of work to do. I think you look at some of the positions offensively. I look at our quarterback room, and I feel like that we've done a really nice job of upgrading that room. I think there's 4 guys all at different stages of their career that all are capable of being really good players here at University of Connecticut. And I look at what we did in the depth at the running back room through the portal and even bringing in a true freshman. And I think we've got 5 guys there that are all competitive and all can go into a game and do good things. One of the areas that we needed to shore up was the receiver position. We brought in, 5 transfers. We brought in some young guys that are freshmen, and that room looks solid. Of course, I say all of this knowing that there's a lot of work to do. We lost a real contributor in Justin Jolie. We didn't necessarily go out and get that type of body to replace him, but we got bodies that can do the things that he does, and we'll have to manipulate our offense around the guys that we have to make sure we put them in the best position to make plays. Defensively, I feel like we upgraded on the defensive line. We had some holes to plug at linebacker, and we brought some veterans in there that I think can have an immediate impact, and in the secondary as well, specifically at corner. So feel good about offense, feel good about defense, and then we'll have a new punter, we'll have a new kicker, we'll have a new snapper, and hopefully we can we made the right decisions on the guys we brought in. I feel like we did. Every indication so far is that we did. But we've got a lot of work to do, and there's a real sense of urgency amongst this team to, I think, win back or at least start to regain, some of the trust that we were building a couple of years ago amongst our fan base. That's important to us, is that we, that there's a lot to live up to when you're at University of Connecticut, not only basketball, but other sports as well. And, I'll point out baseball as well. And I think that I feel a responsibility to it, and I think all of our players do as well. You have huge respect for what's accomplished by the other sports here and don't want to get left behind. And, I'd be lying to you if I said it didn't matter to us to, try to at least get on the path to attaining some of the great things that our other sports have attained. And you feel that amongst our players. So it's all positive right now.
Jim Mora Jr., your Uconn head coach for football. Very honest, very candid, and Coach, I'm on board. Got my season tickets. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go.
He knows they got to win. If they win, the fans come back.
Yep.
Respect comes back. But he also knows, like you said, he read the room, championships. You've got all the things going on around him. He wants football to get up to that level, and that bar is high at UConn right now. And he wants football to pull their weight.
That is like a weird dynamic in an athletic department. Because the football team, I don't care how bad or good you are, if you're a Division I football team, you are going to get 85 scholarships to burn. No one else has that. No one else has that. If you're a football team, you are going to games that are giving you $1 million contracts for the TV rights. No one else has that. No one else does. But when you're in a place where the men's basketball team is back-to-back national championships. The women's basketball team is a powerhouse that everyone around the globe knows. Heck, the hockey team is competing for Hockey East Conference championships nowadays.
Putting up a ton of players in the NHL.
Baseball's in the Supers, ton of players in the MLB. Like, the list goes on. Just pick a sport, any sport. Heck, the kids...
By the way, the Reds just got a kid from UConn.
Who?
I don't have his name. I'll get it, but from this year's team.
I'm interested.
So, the Reds just signed him.
Excellent. But, like that's got to be a weird dynamic. I felt this when Cutcliffe came to Duke to try to turn the football program around. And, like, Cutcliffe uses it. He tried to spin it as an advantage where, heck, I'm under the radar, and everyone still knows our university. Might not know the football team, but everyone knew Duke because of Duke basketball.
Stephen Quigley.
Oh, Quiggs is on the Reds?
Yes.
Nice.
There you go.
Good for him. Good job, Quiggs. But just like that's a wild dynamic for the head coach to walk around amongst legends, man. Right. Hall of Famers. So you're right. Not only if they win.
And a guy who's coached in the NFL. I mean, he's coached at the highest level. And his dad coached at the highest level. And it's like, listen.
He can't accept this. He does not accept this.
The toughest part that I find coaching is you're helpless. I can coach you and give you all the knowledge I have gained in 50 years, but it's tough to sit there and watch you, and if you lose, I feel horrible. I feel awful. And it's like, because all you do as a coach is, I want you to win. I want you to succeed. I want you to feel some of the things that I felt in my lifetime, and it's really hard. I'm coaching a little bit younger version of these kids in college, but it's still, I've got some kids that have gotten to college in recent years. I want them to win, even at the college level. It's the hardest thing is to coach from the sidelines and know I can't physically help you.
I can feel it with Coach. Yep. Like when they lose, I think it was the Utah State game that the extra point gets blocked.
They were so close.
And that just hearing Coach's post game, like he barely has a voice every Saturday. Barely has a voice.
I'm with you, Coach.
I love the halftime speeches that get videotaped and they let us into that world. Like some of the best, man, some of the best. And I know that the results are not up to Coach Mora's standards whatsoever. And I feel their frustration. I know the fans do. But the other thing is, too, like the competition in Division I football, every second of the day for these kids' attention, these kids' admiration, and to prove to these kids what you promised them when they came here is going to come true. And when it doesn't and you fall short with the 3-9 season like last year, that weighs heavy on the coaching staff. So, yeah, this coaching staff, man, does not rest. They want to be 12-0 and actually compete for championships. They raise the bar so high for themselves. So I'm really excited to see what this team brings, and I know they got a great leader. We'll see if they got great players to go with.
They were 1AA till 1999, but they have rotated a bunch of coaches, even bringing one back. And just stick with Mora. Let this guy build from the ground up. It might take a few extra years, especially with NIL, transfer portal.
Especially being independent.
Exactly. And he keeps bringing in amazing established coaches that want to help him. That's the big thing here. You can't keep turning it over. This is a program that again, it's a little different than an SEC team where you could easily get guys to join. ACC, it's a little bit different, and hopefully in the near future we're in one of those conferences and we can get more kids because of the TV revenue. But right now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. NIL people, if you're looking to branch out and help some other sports at Uconn, football is in desperate need of paying some of these players to come here and play.
Well, I'll say it. I've been saying it. Like, as good as the women's basketball team is, as good as the men's basketball team is, the ACC and the Big 12, they want the good football program to join 100%. Their conference. So if you want to get into that world, this team needs to win. This team needs to go to a bowl game this year.
Agreed. All right, when we come back, we'll do first tips question of the day. We got Mike Petraglia, Trags, is coming up at 4:25. Yeah, we'll ask him about why is Joe Burrow's hair blonde. No,
why did you dye your hair?
My wife wants to have him answer that question. But other than that, Mike Petraglia is going to talk about the NFL. He's going to talk about the Patriots. And Joe Milton right now is making Drake May look bad at practice. So we'll ask him all kinds of NFL questions coming up at 4:25. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell in your afternoon drive. Happy Friday, everybody. Woo. Kurt Kaplan on the ones and twos. John Ashmead on the video. Thank you so much for keeping us on the air. We'll be right back.